Welcome everyone to this live stream. So in this live stream, this is the part two of the live stream, part two of the new perspective feature or tool in CorelDraw 2021. So if you haven't seen the part one, the part one is in the description below. The link is in the description below. Please watch that one too. It's all about package design. But today we are going to talk about how to create illustration like this in CorelDraw. So basically, I did this earlier, and I've done this in the new version of the CorelDraw 2021, the perspective tool or feature. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this, and I'm gonna start from scratch. Okay, so the very first thing you do when you're creating the perspective, a illustration or graphics, is to go to objects and then perspective, and then draw in perspective. So this is the new feature. So click on draw in perspective, and then you're going to have this option here on top. If you wanted 2 point perspective, 1 point perspective. So today the building that you saw earlier, that's a 2 point perspective. So we are going to just choose 2 point perspective, and then you are going to click and drag here to create the drawing box with perspective lines. So when I click on release, now you're going to see that you have this kind of structure. So this structure is in perspective already. You got these perspective lines, and then this is the horizon line. And since we chose 2 point perspective, then we have two vanishing points. So this is vanishing point number one, and this is vanishing point number two. Uh, in this perspective feature, I can also bring up the horizon line. So for the building, it's best not to put it on the center. It's best to put it probably on somewhere like this, so that you can see more of the buildings. So I'm gonna put it somewhere there. So I just click and drag. Now let's go to the properties here. So in these properties, I'm going to click on lock perspective view, so that I won't accidentally move the horizon line and the vanishing point. So I'm gonna lock that, and then this one is the horizon color, which is blue, and then this one is the perspective lines color, and then this one is the transparency, the opacity of the sorry, no, this is the density. So if I increase the density, I'm gonna have more perspective lines. So I'm just gonna keep it to 15, which is the default. And then this one is show perspective lines if you don't want to see it, but I rather see it so that I know I'm drawing it in the right in the right way. So since we already have this one, then we can actually start drawing. So I'm just going to go into my image here of the oops, I'm sorry about that. I just have to resize this and just show you the sequence that we're going to do. So the sequence we are going to do is we're going to draw this first, this building, and then this one here, this one, and this one, and then we're going to draw the sidewalk. Okay. And then later on, we're going to draw the shadow and also the shading there. Okay, so now we can start by drawing the first building. So the first building would be here. So we are going to draw it on the right side here. So this is the sides of the box. Okay, so this is the top. These are the top plane, the left plane, and the right plane. So we're going to go into the right plane. So I click on that, and I'm going to go to my rectangular tool here, and then I'm going to just click and drag, like just like that. Okay, and then I am just going to uh, I'm going to go to my left one. So I click on my left, and then I'm going to do it this way here. So now I have two sides of the building, right? So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna move this up a bit like this, just to match our reference, which is this one here, right? So I am going to move this up to like this, and then I'm going to snap this here, and I'm just going to make it smaller here, like that. So that's our first building, and then I'm going to draw the windows here. So for the window, I'm just gonna fix this. I'm just gonna make it really exact like that. Okay, so for the windows, I am going to start with the right side. Okay, so this is the right side. See this one here? That's the right side. So I'm going to click on my rectangular tool again, and then I'm just going to create the window on the ground floor. Okay, so, and if you notice, whenever I draw a rectangle, it creates a perspective line right away, which is very convenient for us. Okay, so now let's go to the windows on top. So in the windows on top, if I look at our reference here, we've got 3 windows on top, right? So I just discovered this, that it's better to use the graphing paper. So if I click on my graphing paper, our graphing tool, okay, and then you would say, okay, how many columns do I want? So I'm gonna go here in the property. I'm gonna go 3 columns and then one row, right? So now I can just click and drag. Okay, so don't worry if it's not in the right proportion, but if once I release it, it would be the right perspective. And then I'm just going to do it like this. Okay, so now we are done with our first side. Now let's go to the right side. So the right side, with my reference again. So in the right side, the left side, we have also 3 windows, and then we have the door and one more window. Okay, so we will start with the window. So I'm going to my left. Okay, so make sure to pay attention with this: left, right, and top. Okay, so I'm in my left perspective plane now, and then I'm just going to create the door, or draw the door here like this, and then a small window here, and then I'm gonna have 3 glass window here. So again, I'm going to go to my graphing to paper or tool, and I have 3 by 1. Okay, and then I'm just gonna click and drag. Okay, don't worry if it's like that, because later on it's gonna correct it themselves. Okay, and then I'm just gonna move it this way. All right, so now we have the first building. Okay, and you can move this around if you want, or you can resize it. You're not stuck with that kind of height. So for example, here I want this to be higher. I'm gonna go like this, and then I'm gonna go like that. I'm just gonna fix that a bit. There. Okay, so that's my first building. Now the second building will be in here, and yeah, so I can, but it's a brick building. Like for example, here it's a brick, right? The second building on the left side. So this is vector brick. I created the vector brick because I tried the bitmap and it didn't really work. Yeah, it didn't really work. So so I decided to create a vector so that it won't. So when you're creating the vector brick there, you can just click on finish here, because you are going to create it separately. So I'm just going to create a box like this, right? And then I'm going to create a brick pattern. So click on the rectangular tool, and then I'm going to start with my first brick here. Just gonna make it bigger like that. And then of course we're gonna duplicate this, so plus sign in your keyboard, and then hold down control while you're moving it to make it straight, right? And then you can just go control D, 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 D. We're duplicating it. Let's go like this one more. Okay, so now I'm going to select this. I'm gonna go plus sign my keyboard again and then bring it down. So while I'm bringing it down, hold down control so that you can make it straight. But then we are going to offset this there so it looks like a brick, right? Perfect. So now we are going to select the two again, the two rows, and then plus sign your keyboard again, and then hold down control while you're bringing this down, while you're dragging this down, and then say you're good like that, right? And then since we already have the duplication, we'll just go control D to make multiple rows. Probably one more. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna adjust this. I'm gonna adjust this like this, and then I'm going to okay, so while doing that, because I can't power clip this because the power clip doesn't really work in the perspective. So what I do, I'm just going to select this, the last brick, and then I'm going to move this, and then I'm going to snap it to this, to that side of the brick, so that it would be straight like that. So I'm going to do it the same here. So I'm going to, so basically I don't need this anymore. I'm just going to delete this because the only thing I want to align are this one, right? Okay, I'm holding shift to multiple select, right? And then I'm click and then like that. Okay, so now I am gonna color the brick. So I'm gonna color the inside brick first. Okay, and then I'm going to click on this, and then I'm just gonna make it, I don't know, probably this color like this. Okay, I'm going to remove the outline of the inside, so I'm gonna select just the inside and then right mouse click here to remove the outline. And for this one, I'm not gonna remove the outline. Okay, so now I'm going to group this. Control G for group, or you can go there. So now I am going to click on this, and then I'm going to go to edit, right? Because we're going to put this beside this first building. So now I'm going to click on this and then right mouse click and then move to plane. Sorry, I'm gonna move this one here, and then I'm gonna go right mouse click, move. Okay, so make sure that your object is inside the perspective box. Okay, so right mouse click and then move to plane. Oops, sorry, we have to put it in like this. Okay, oh, I see, because we're not in the left plane. So you click on the left plane and then right mouse click, move to left plane, and then there it would go like this. And then don't worry if it doesn't look right yet, because once you enlarge it like this and then go like this, you would see it would be perfect. Okay, so the proportion of the brick, I made it too big, so that's fine. And I'm just going to move it closer. Click and then snap it there. Okay, so now I have that brick wall, And looking at our reference here, I am going to have one window on top. Oh, sorry, that's a sign. So I'm gonna go to my rectangular tool. So basically, it's a signage. So I'm gonna put a sign there, but I'm not gonna put. Okay, that's for the sign of the shop. And then I'm also gonna create like one. It's like a garage here. But while I'm doing this, instead of doing a rectangular box, I'm gonna go to my my graphing paper or graph tool, and then I am going to make 3 columns. So instead of 3 columns, I'm gonna go 1 column only, but the rows would be, say, 4, and then I'm going to click and drag here. Okay, don't worry about that because it's gonna fix it. It went here, you just have to drag it inside here. Okay, I'm gonna color that gray for now, and then I'm gonna move it. So if you look at this, it moves, right? So I'm gonna enlarge this, enlarge it like this, and then I'm just going to snap it here, there, and then move this on top like that, and move it like this. Okay, so now that is like my garage for that shop, and I'll just make a small rectangle here, like that. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I have that ready. So now I'm gonna look at my reference. So another building and then one more window on top, right? So that's easy. So I'm just gonna go to my rectangular tool, create a box. Remember, I'm still in the left plane or left perspective, and then I have 2 doors here. One door and then another door beside each other, and then one big window like this. Okay. Now, in this case, since this building is shorter than this one, I have to create one perspective line going to the other vanishing point. So I'm going to go to your right, okay, right perspective plane, and then draw that rectangle. So from here going there. Now I know that it's to the front, so if I color that gray, I know it's to front, right? So you have to put it to back just to make the drawing right, because technically speaking it should be to the back. And then you can just move this over like this. Okay, so that looks right now. And then, so what I'll do here, I'm just going to color it gray. Yeah, so I'm just gonna color it gray so that we can distinguish the sides of the building. So this one I'll make it, say, white, and then that one's fine. I can make this that color, and then all of this would be white because it's a window. This one white, and then this one light gray, and then this white, and then this one also is white for the windows. Okay, so I have that already. So now we are going to do the second building on the right side. So the second building on the right side would be, so I'm in the right perspective, right, plane. So now I can create another building here. So click and drag, and so it's a shorter building like that. I was gonna make that gray, and then I'm gonna create so big door like that, and also 2 small doors here, I mean windows. So one window here, and then one more window, and then one more window here, and another window. Okay, and then we'll just make sure that that's same width. So click on this and then just snap to this edge. There you go. Okay, this one too, and then snap to this edge there. And then I'm gonna color all of this white. Okay, so now we have that, and I'm just gonna make this darker or something like that. Okay, so now I don't need to draw the other for the vanishing point because you won't see it because it's covered by this one. Okay, so now let us do the last building on top. If you take a look at the reference, okay, so that building is going to be, so let's go to our left perspective plane and then go to your rectangular tool, and then I am going to create from here to here, something like that. Okay, and then probably shorter like this, and then I'm going to color that a darker gray, and then I'm gonna put it to back, right? So order objects, order to back of the layer. Then of course, if I have this, I should have also the right side, right? Right side vanishing point. I have to create a line from there going this way. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my right perspective and click on my rectangular tool, and then go here, and then I'm going to decide how tall, how the width of the building. I would just say somewhere. Okay, I can actually go like this. Okay, so that's like an illusion that it's bigger, but I'm going to put this to back, right? I'm going to color it light gray first, or this gray, or maybe this gray, and then and then go to objects, order to back layer. Okay, and then I'm going to create windows here. Since there's lots of windows here, I'm going to use the grid. So while I am in my right perspective plane, I'm gonna go to my graphing tool, and I'm going to make this 10. So 10 columns and 1 row only. And then I'm gonna click and drag. Okay, don't worry if it doesn't look right, because once I release it, it would go like that, right? And then I'm gonna go expand that, and I'm gonna make it white. Okay, that's good. That's for the windows. Okay, so now the only thing we need is the sidewalk. Okay, for the sidewalk, we are going to use the top plane, perspective plane. Okay, so we'll start with the right side. So for the right side, I'm going to my graphing paper, and then I'm going to go 10 rows, and then 10 columns and 1 row. So I'm gonna start from here. Okay, don't worry about that. Oops, sorry. I have to be on top. Okay, the top plane, because basically the side you're looking it from on top, right, and looking it down. So it should be top. Okay, top plane. So you click and drag like this. Don't worry about that, because once I release, it would go like this, right? And then you just have to drag this. But this is kind of tricky. Your tendency is dragging this one going this way, but that's not the case, because if I go like this, say it goes this way, Control Z, so it's this one here, and then you go like this, right? And you're gonna go somewhere like that. Okay, and I'm going to stretch this one, because that's for the sidewalk. Okay, and yeah, so I'm okay with that one. Now we are going to go to the left side, but we're still going to use the top perspective plane. But instead of the graphing paper, instead of 10 columns, we're gonna go one column and then 10 rows. Okay, I know it's a bit confusing, but once you do it, you will understand why. Okay, so now we'll start here. Click and drag. See, and then go this way. Sorry, you just enlarge it first. Okay, I'm just gonna snap it to here, and I'm gonna make it the same width. Oh, it's really tricky once you're used to the orthographic, not the perspective. Okay, so I'm going to snap there. That looks good. So the only thing to do is just move this. Oops, move this back like this, and then enlarge it again. Yeah, yes, until you hit the other building. It's like this. Okay, or maybe what we can do, we can overlap this and then move it here. Yeah, I think that's better. And then move it some more, and there. Okay, so now we can color this light gray, or maybe, and then maybe this one will be this gray. Sorry, this one, because it's behind, let's make that darker. And then this one we can make it lighter, but then we have to put this to front, so object, order to front of layer. Okay, so that's looking good. Now I think we're done. So if I look at my reference here, so we're done. So the only thing we have to do is all the shading and stuff like that. So now we're okay. So for the shading, it's best to do it outside of the perspective, because see this finish button here. So once I click on finish, you're not in the perspective mode already. You're just in the ordinary mode. So when I click on create a rectangle, there's no way that's gonna be perspective, right? Because we're not inside it. But once I click on this one and I go edit, then this one we can move it to, see, right mouse click and then move plane to the left. Then it's going to be perspective, right? See this? Go like this. But if you click on finish, we are just going to, yeah, so we're just gonna create, I'm just gonna create a box here like this, and then I'm going to put a line here, which is the vanishing point, sorry, the horizon line, and I'll put this to back, object to back of page. Okay, and then sorry, I'm gonna go back here, edit. I want to see where, okay, that's close. So I'm gonna click on finish. So now I'm just going to go to my smart fill, and then I'm gonna click here, right? And then I'm gonna make it this color. All right, let's click here to remove the outline, and then go to my transparency tool. I'm just gonna click and drag like this. Yeah, just like that. And I'm gonna move it like this. Okay, so now, and then this one here below, I'm also going to do a smart fill like this, but I'm going to make it gray. Okay, that gray is fine. And yeah, so I will remove the outline of this, right mouse click here, and okay, so now I am ready to put the so if you look at my original, I have this shadow, I've got this transparent at the back. So here, so for the transparency, I'm just gonna go to my Bezier, and then say click here, or actually I can do smart fill. So we go to smart fill and click here, and I'll make it black, and I'm gonna go to my transparency and then click and drag from here. So it's really up to you. This is just like a creating a stylized illustration. So for example, I'm gonna go do that, and then say for this one I'm gonna smart fill again, make it black, and then say the transparency is from here to there, like that. And so this one too, I'm gonna go smart fill, color it black, and transparency probably going this way. Okay, and yeah, I think that's fine there. So now you can see the depth already. So now what I'll do is I'm gonna create a shadow here, like the shadow of the building. Say the light source is coming from here. So I'm gonna go to my Bezier again, and then I'm gonna click here. This is just like an estimate of how the shadow will look like. But I'm just like, like according to this shape. So I'm gonna go like this. And then I got a smaller, shorter building, and then go up again. And then a higher building and go like this. And then I would just like I would close it here, and then I'm gonna close it like this. Okay, and then if you want, you can adjust the shape of it, but it's just a shadow, so I'm fine with that. So I'm just gonna make it black, right mouse click, and then go to my transparency tool, and then just click and drag like this. We want to make it more like that, so we can see the shadow, the shape of the building, I mean. So yeah, so just like you can also move the slider. Oops. Okay, so yeah, so I think we're done. So that's the perspective tool in CorelDraw. And yeah, so I hope you like it. I enjoyed it a lot. Like I'm getting used to use the perspective drawing tool, and it's my third day now, and probably I use it 5 times already, and I'm pretty much comfortable with it. But I still haven't really put the the real potential of the perspective, the new perspective tool, but that will come later. As long as I use it more. So my advice to you is, when there's a new feature, just use it 5 times, 6 times, 10 times, and you'll get used to it, and then you'll understand the workflow. So right now I understand the workflow a little bit, but like I said, I haven't seen the full potential of it yet. But later on, I will. So thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I create tutorials in CorelDraw, and I am sharing my expertise, or the things that I've learned using CorelDraw. I've been using it for 30 years now, and I hope you subscribe, and also I hope you comment on my video, so I'll know if what I'm doing is right, or if you have some ideas on what other tutorials I'm going to cover. That would be great too. So bye for now, and I will see you in the next tutorial.